Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on the 1973 film The Wicker Man. Now, as you know, The Wicker Man was a 1973 folk horror film, which of course starred Christopher Lee as the main villain, Lord Sholmazile, as well as Edward Woodward for the role of Sergeant Neil Howley. And the best way I can sum up the film Wicker Man is a dark cautionary tale that, yeah, sometimes following the wrong belief, faith, and what you think is right could easily be something on the wrong path. And the premise of the film is meant to follow Sergeant Neil Howley, who obviously journeys from the West Highland to journey off to a small remote island and slowly starts to see that, yeah, the residents of this small additional island are basically meant to be pagan followers, and of course start to behave strangely. They start to kind of dance around in the nude and perform like over the top intercultural acts. And we do see how Lee starts to kind of see the things around him as strange, in particular, and superstitious. And we even see how he has to try and find and investigate the disappearance of a young girl. And we kind of slowly see that obviously Neil Howley having to finally now see that the residents have kind of lost all meaning of being talked with, and slowly starts to see that they're performing a sort of paganism ritual to help with their crops. And I think the way I do see Neil Howley and Lord Summersisle is meant to be two different people. Sergeant Neil Howley is meant to be the embodiment of being a pure person who follows their ideals, beliefs, and their faiths on the right course. Well, Lord Summersisle is the opposite of Neil Howley. He kind of embraces corruption. He believes he's in the right. And yeah, when he does kind of make it clear to Neil Howley his followers will follow him no matter what, you do see how Neil Howley tries in vain to help them realise that obviously their crops were failing because of realistic things. But it becomes clear that the people of the small additional islands have lost all faith and all sense of reason to be helped. And it kind of reminds you how, yeah, the wrong kind of like faith, religion, and so forth can easily make a person easily corrupted. I think what it separates from Midsommar's is the Wicker Man just shows a sort of Christian police officer slowly starting to see the strange things around him. Us as the us as the watcher get to see Neil Howley having to go around this town, having to see these strange things that have made him uneasy and slowly starting to question what is really going on. I know, obviously, the director, Robin Harley, had an idea about doing a sequel, and yeah, looking at the planned sequel idea, definitely screamed fan fiction material. The film ended where it needed to be, showing how Neil Howley was still trying to keep true to his faith. He still wanted to hold on to it, while the rest of the residents of that island were too far gone to be helped. I think to me, the 1973 film Wicker Man is an enjoyable film. It keeps true about the dangers of following the wrong kind of long forgotten religion and being careful who you listen to and try to form what you think is right despite what people say. So it definitely deserves two thumbs ups. It's good, it's enjoyable, but it doesn't need to go too overboard with what it needs to do with a horror film. Just keeping it to a simple, mild-mannered sporting chance British film. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.